What is going on, everyone? Welcome into Big Time Football Talk. So I want to get into this. I want to break down last night's Thursday night opening action of the NFL between the Houston Texans and the Chiefs. And starting with the main piece of last night, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the breakout rookie, drafted 32nd overall to the Kansas City Chiefs. What a monster game for him. 25 carries, 138 yards, one touchdown. Nearly got a second one on the goal line. But this is just huge for the Chiefs because, man, the Chiefs are such a quick strike offense. You saw, good things out of David Johnson. Texans drove down the field and scored early, make it 7-0 on the, 20-some-yard carry by David Johnson. And you saw just the explosiveness of the Chiefs offense. That's just, they can strike like that. 31 unanswered points after that. One of the touchdowns going to Sammy Watkins, one to Tyreek Hill, and then the one for Edwards-Helaire, and then you saw, Edwards-Helaire almost get the second one after, that interception by the Chiefs when, Tyrann Mathieu rushed Deshaun Watson, and he had the errant throw that the Chiefs, intercepted. But, for the main takeaways I want to discuss for the Texans, though, the offensive line still needs improvement. I mean, there's a lot of plays. Deshaun Watson just kind of dancing. He has to break a couple tackles just to get a throw off, and they really need a guy to step up at receiver. I thought it was going to be Brandon Cooks, but, looking back on Brandon Cooks' career, he's never really been that, he's never really become the alpha male, the go-to guy receiver. He's had some big games, but he's also had some down weeks. He's pretty volatile, whether it's fantasy and, reality. Obviously, both. That 1 week he'll have, 5 catches, 6 catches, 130 yards, couple scores, and then the next week it's, 1 catch. And, Will Fuller is, I need him to kind of become that guy, but his MO was kind of like the, the deep threat. You saw him get a few catches late, but, they need, whether it's, Fuller or Cooks, they need him to step up. One of the guys got to be the, the alpha of the wide receiver core, but, who's going to do it? They need to do it quickly because, it showed last night how much losing DeAndre Hopkins really meant to this offense. Hopkins was really the main man, and he, could just catch everything, and not just short routes or long routes, the intermediate routes. He was just money. You saw, obviously this team was a great rushing team last year with Carlos Hyde. Now with David Johnson, this should be even better rushing the ball if, hopefully, Johnson stays healthy. They were looking at his arm last night. Duke Johnson was banged up. So hopefully those guys stay healthy. This could be, another dominant rushing attack. But it's just, how can you consistently move the ball when you don't spread the wealth on offense, or you don't have a main go-to receiver that you can throw the ball to and he catches it consistently anyways. But, yeah, the Chiefs secondary really played well. That was an area of concern I had. L'Jarius Sneed, the rookie from Tulane, really had a great football game. He was the one that intercepted the pass on Watkins to set the Chiefs up in business to really take that commanding lead late. And Chris Jones looks like he's worth every penny of that big contract. I think had was it 1 or 2 sacks on Watson. Jones just a disruptive player and a guy that is so valuable on the Chiefs defense that actually isn't really star-studded, just has some some solid players and great leadership. Tyrann Mathieu's a tremendous leader and a guy that just gets the most out of players around him, makes everyone better. But the Texans defense is going to get a little tougher. They play Baltimore next week, and the next 2 games after that are very tough. So this is a team that could start 0-4, which would be a nightmare. But I think not so much now, but I think if they lose these next couple games, I think the calling for that seat for Bill O'Brien is going to get a little bit warmer. So, but back to the Chiefs. It's kind of crazy. Mahomes didn't even have to hit 300 yards passing for this team to, succeed. Finish with 211 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. But, you get Edwards-Helaire in the ground game working too. That's just going to be lethal. I mean, I don't know how you stop this offense. They're so deep. Collinsworth and now Michaels discussed it last night. They're so deep at wide receiver. I mean, you have Watkins, Tyreek Hill, Mecole Hardman. Hardman you didn't even see what much of what he can do last night because they didn't even need to get him involved. But Demarcus Robinson's a pretty solid player. Last year against the Texans, he struggled with some drops, but last night had a few clutch catches for him, and he's a speedy, athletic guy. So, but yeah, it's I was pretty happy with the play. There wasn't a lot of penalties, just one penalty on the Chiefs last night, and that's something that I didn't really think about, but later in the game I was like, wow, for a week 1 game, the tackling's pretty well, and it's a pretty clean penalty-free game. I hate the games when they're just constantly penalties every freaking play. But yeah, I was happy. I was so happy to see some NFL football last night, and Texans, hopefully their defense improves. J.J. Watt and Justin Reed can't do it all. That's what that's kind of what I discussed. In the preview of this is you got Justin Reed and Watt, who are great players, but who else is going to step up? McKinney's a solid linebacker, but they're and Roby plays well in the secondary, but who's really that second corner? Who's gonna step up and shut down receivers? It's just Baltimore next week with the speed is another nightmare matchup for the Texans. But yeah, Vegas. How about Vegas last night? It was the spread was 9 points, Kansas City, and part of me at first was like, man, that's a high spread for a game that a lot of people thought would be a close one, and yeah. So and then it was 24 points. I was like, wow, Kansas City will likely cover, and then it did get cut down to. What did they cut it down to? Cut it down to 11, and I was like, wow, that's incredible. Vegas. It ended up being 14, but from 24 to 14, and then the Chiefs or the Texans got the ball with a chance to get it to if they get a touchdown, then it's a 7. Just like it was in that area between 7 and 14, which is crazy. Just how accurate Vegas is. Really, it's something else. But yeah, stay tuned, guys. I'm gonna do a wrap up of Sunday's action this weekend, and I'm excited for tomorrow for the college football slate. Clemson, Wake Forest at prime time. So make sure you stay tuned for like a wrap-up show of college football action this Saturday and then also this Sunday. So thanks for tuning in to Big Time Football Talk. Thanks so much, guys, for your continued support of the channel. Till next time, peace.